And, you know, I don't know. I just feel like M80 still probably feel comfortable on the map. They still want to pick into it, of course. They've been trying to make it one of their mainstays, and we'll see if that comes to fruition at least tonight. And then Inferno as a decider, it's up in the air, obviously, as usual for a decider.
As usual. I mean, the big question is going to be asked of Marsborne. They've been impressing us. Fortunately, again, not having to play with Luce in the server, but with Viz instead. But this is a different level of competition. This is a bit of a step up. And Marsborne, through the whole life of this roster, or of this team rather, have not really been able to go toe-to-toe with the big boys in the region. That's where they've struggled. But there's always a first, John.
There is. This could be their first, and it would be a big one to get. I think either of these teams will match well against getting info, by the way.
Everybody's here, but Walko's just missed them. But the flip side is he might be able to catch his kill on the Swisher, completely unknown on this flank B main. But Swisher just a little bit deeper into the angle. I mean, he knows he's here. Problem is that Grizz is lost in the meantime, and Walko taking a little bit too long to find this kill means the bomb goes down, and now they know where he's coming from. So Swisher may not have found the frag, but staying alive, dancing among the dually bullets, which does go a long way to making this a bit easier for his teammates. And now Sin, posted on the CT angle, deals with the first of the retake. Marsborne able to trade that out nicely. Shops gain forward ground, but out of E-Box comes Slacks at the perfect moment.
Yeah, some great trading. Sharp shots here from M80 in the opening pistol round, and they really want to make amends for yesterday's performance. On the favored side, it was not great for them against getting info, but here, that's the start they wanted. And Marsborne's not going to get much of anything invested into this round. It'll just be pistols. And like I was alluding to before, you know, we know an M80 getting info rematch will be spicy. There's no question about it. But I think Marsborne can absolutely hold their own if they manage to get past this M80 squad that certainly has fire in their bellies. Like, they know that they're the favorites. They feel like they're the favorites, and that yesterday was an aberration, let's say, based on their recent performances.
We do have to remember as well, they are integrating a new player, so there are maybe at times some fits and starts from that of just getting used to the chemistry with each other. Not going to be any fits and starts in this round, it seems. Straub is getting cut down to size. Eventually he will be found. Money made off of these SMGs here for Swisher. And Wolfie will not last much longer.
I mean, if you look at the numbers throughout this qualifier, Hext hasn't been bad. He's 1.13 rating, and the rest of the squad has been phenomenal. I mean, you look at Lake, 1.34, Swisher, 1.42, and the man of the qualifier, I would say, is Slacks at a rating of 1.55. So the pieces have been there for M80. I think you're right in terms of Hex being implanted to the roster, but not necessarily in terms of his fragging performance, but more, you know, being in the right place at the right time, timing on executes, little details, little mistakes that caught up to them against getting info.
It's something we've seen in some of the rougher moments for M80. To me, hold on. Zach, we'll talk about it in just a moment. A bit of a burst on in with these SMGs. Smoke up to try and give Grizz space to fight for him, but he can do nothing with it, and this round is over. It's a save off rip. Marsborne devastated on their B hold, and this is the bonus round for M80. So working in, kicking down the door with those SMGs. Now it's all gravy as far as M80 are concerned.
Absolutely. That was phenomenal. I mean, just a set play coming through. M80 getting the smokes right on point and hitting all the shots they had to against Viz and Grizz. The two Izzes here on Marsborne. And after that, I mean, Wolfie, Chop, and Wild could just have to try and go for the save. Of course, M80's going to chase with the 2 back 10s. You have no reason not to, considering you've already got the round victory. See if they can get the guns out of the hands of Marsborne and upgrade themselves a little bit further. Chop's waiting here. Should be fine to stay alive, but no, Wildco's gone and Chop really can't chime in. Wolfie does help, but he's the only survivor.
That's going to sting. So the one rifle taken through. I was going to say the one moment where we may be seeing big issues for M80 is in some of the chaos moments, particularly in post plants or retakes. Their spacing hasn't been great. What I mean by that is that you frequently have one player trying to make a move before their teammates are in position. So you wind up in situations where individual hero plays are attempted, and if they don't work, you don't have the ability to trade, you don't have the ability to build off of it. And that's I think the one trend that I've noticed here. Even in some of their victories, there were a couple of those rounds where you're looking at it and thinking a team with M80's experience really shouldn't be leaving these gaps.
No, I agree with you. And it's not one individual that's guilty of it. All of them are. I think that we saw Slacks do it. We saw Sin on Dust2. We saw Lake. I think it was on Anubis do that. So, it happened for all the players. They just have to get on the same page communication-wise.
Yeah. The concerning part for me about it is that it's also a trend I noticed at the major. There were a few moments. Yeah. There's one that's sticking in my brain where Fallen sprayed down 3 players coming out on the long doors. But there were a few of those moments where it's just like, these are plays that, yes, they're good plays from the other side, but they should not be possible if you play with the proper spacing and timing on it. I think a few too many of those moments slip in to thwart M80 in critical rounds. This one,
no question.
No thwarting.
They are good to go. This is a fantastic start for M80. I mean, everything going exactly the way they drew it up in the first 4 rounds, but here comes Marsborne with the rifles. And of course, Wolfie's AWP. That duel between Wolfie and Slacks will be one to keep an eye on. But Slack doesn't want to get the op yet because he's still got the A1S in his hands and tons of money. I mean, look, they're building bank here. How many deaths? 4. 4 deaths, so that's 1 per round for M80. Very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, these guns at this point are starting to get antique status. They've made it through enough rounds. Here comes the mid-control. Mid-space taken. Walko's going to be in trouble. There's no one close enough to support him. They're gone for 3 and towards B. So if they press this mid-issue, Walko could be in a really tough spot. And if he drops early, then suddenly Chop is on an island. Do a good job of not giving that up. And you could see the bomb's still far back, so M80 don't really have the urge to go for the aggressive play. Instead, it's going to be Marsborne to make their move. Starting to appear out of cave here. Looking down the canals. Waiting to see if someone's going to wander into that op crosshair of Wolfie, while meanwhile Viz chews up more and more space. As I say that, he'll settle. It's Chop out of A main instead.
Yeah.
How are they reading this? They've gained a ton of space. M80 have to know these are possibilities, but meanwhile M80 have walked all the way through middle. They're in the temple. They're going to be able to pinch B.
Yeah, and that means that Chop might not even matter, right? All that forward positioning he's gained, he won't be in the picture. They do have the 3 players waiting on the B site, so it's not too bad, but Slacks gets the opener. Will be the trade, has to be big with Viz, but they get stuck in E-Box, and this is exactly what M80 wants. Util sails in, they're isolated and out of the picture.
That's so disappointing for Chop as well. They knew he was there. They knew he was there the entire time. They had a perfect read, and now it's just all about the execution, and no guns saved through. An op's going to be salvaged. A rifle's upgraded. They barely had to spend a dime in this entire map of play. This is getting faintly ridiculous. Great presence of mind from M80. You could see the care they were giving to that deep canal's control. They just completely circumvented it. They knew based on what they had and what they didn't have, where players had to be. And without any confirmed information, they took full advantage of the map control. I mean, that was just pure manipulation.
Yeah, and great awareness as well. This has been that kind of start for M80. Still on one death per round, which is unbelievable, especially if that continues for the entirety of the half.
Slacks already had a game where he almost didn't die.
Yes, he did.
Don't let him try that again.
Beginning, against oh my god,
Marca Registrata.
Yeah, you got it. Marca Registrata. There we go.
Mm-hmm. He went. Oh god, what was the total? Something stupid. 34 and 9 across 2 maps.
Yeah, it was
including.
nutty.
Yeah, I mean that was annihilation.
It's not like it was only that one either, right? He's played well throughout the entirety of the qualifier, as I highlighted before. So I don't expect him to slow down. Again, he hasn't died here. 6-0. trying to continue his ridiculousness. Maybe against teams that start with Mar. That's the key.
Is that the key? This is the in-depth analysis that John brings to you. Pattern recognition. You know, they pay a lot of money for that.
Oh my god.
That's what they're trying to get all the AI to do. Can't do it as good as you, John.
No way I will replace me.
It's coming for us all one day.
Eh.
They'll put me in the pod. Plug me in.
We'll become the AIs.
We'll live in the Matrix while the AI rule. It's happening. I didn't think the Matrix was a documentary, but then people offloaded their brains to their phones.
If it means immortality, maybe?
I don't want immortality, man. That sounds exhausting. Sounds exhausting for Marsborne. They really can't do anything about this. There's one guy. He's in heaven. It's Chop. He's got a 5-7. Let's see if he can find the... shoulder. Tease. Leg spotted him, but the headshot goes back the other way. Chop wary about getting his hands on that gun. And a nade will make sure that he cannot. This round is not in doubt.
No.
But maybe Marsborne can at least add some extra casualties to the board.
Would be good for them to get more than one frag in a round.
Especially if they could kill Slacks.
Yeah.
End this Iron Man streak early. No. No, they cannot actually. As it so happens.
Hey!
Hey, 2 deaths! 2 deaths! The reign of terror is over! But the 6-0 is certainly not here, John.
No, yeah, look at the money. I don't think I remember the last time I saw all 5 players with $13,000 or more. M80 are just swimming in cash like Scrooge McDuck. 7th round of play. Marsborne need something. Anything. They have to try to take some more aggressive posturing. I mean, they did a good job when Chop made it all the way out into canals, but the problem is they're not looking for any information outside of B main repeatedly. So M80 is just having their way with the map and going wherever they want, and that's not the type of control you want to give up to the T's.
No. No. I mean, at least this time we're getting a little bit of momentum here in middle from the off.
Yes.
Wolfie would love to be able to do anything with this gun. Gonna stick around. Last time he had it, it got taken away from him rather quickly. Here comes the swing. Out to pizza. Fast as you like from Swisher. Grizz at least can trade it, but now he knows he's pinned into the corner. Grizz still going to be able to stack up a second. Staying alive. Staying alive. He is staying alive.
Thought you were saying Michael Jackson there. Anyway, I cannot do that. 4v3.
Yeah, what's your
in
high
favor of
note,
Marsborne.
John?
I don't...
What's the range?
I don't know.
Can you do a
Not-
falsetto?
I don't know. Probably not. I've never
We've
really
got a moment
tried.
here to test because Marsborne are keeping 3 in defensive B, and it's just Chop back in heaven trying to avoid giving up these numbers. And as Sin spots the mid control, I mean, this could be pretty rough. Despite having the numbers advantage, they're starting to adjust to it because, of course, time's getting late, but there's not a lot that they can actually do to deny this bomb plant. See, they have the presence of mind to expect Hexed this far forward. Should have a clear on it, but Hexed is going to find the early punish. Gonna dive out of the way of that AWP. Give up the angle. Slacks posts up. A miss there, but unpunished, at least for the moment. Slacks another miss. They're trying to chase him down. The Iron Man, the unkillable op, is finally felled. Falls to his fellow German in Sin, who going through an incendiary will find himself lightly singed. Big round from Grizz. Marsborne strike.
Yeah, that's fantastic from Grizz. All starts at the beginning. Just getting those 2 frags towards the B site and shutting down M80's attempt to get there, forcing them all the way back and readjusting into A. And by the time they get that bomb planted, they only got 2 players left. It is a 2v2. Problem is, Slacks was so alone. he really didn't have much to do in that corner because Marsborne knew exactly where he was. So he's just like, okay, maybe I'll hit a no-scope or a quick scope as they come around. Doesn't get either of those things. And then Sin is all the way in camera, and Marsborne have the perfect util. They have the incendiary to toss in that direction. Sin realizes the situation, tries to push through it, but doesn't clear the left, and that's the round. So well done from Grizz, but Lake is back for a vengeance here. 2K opener. Walco, Wolfie, and Grizz still alive, but they are on very different parts of the map.
They need a hero. I mean, finally getting around off the back of a hero play from Grizz.
Yeah.
4 big kills. And then immediately just getting dismantled does not feel good. I'd go so far. Look, I don't want to be an armchair psychologist here, but I'd go so far as to say it probably feels bad, John.
Yeah,
If I
would
may
say,
be
Mike,
so bold.
You're probably correct in that very bold assessment.
They stacked up 2 towards B. You got to gamble something at this point for Marsborne. Unfortunately, they have gambled wrong. Walco, though, flashed up, plays the timing game, catches Hex.
Yeah, but
Slacks is going hunting on the other side of the map, so pick your poison. Optool. A rifle in the hands of the other. As it was Swisher, indeed, who actually caught that kill. And now there will be no survivors out of round number 8 for Marsborne.
Yeah, back to the only one frag from Marsborne and M80 cruising along. 7-1 in their favor, and look at the money. I mean, they haven't been able to build up anything on the side of Marsborne. Wolfie's going... Okay, they're going... Yeah, I can't blame them, actually, because they're so down in terms of rounds, and things are getting dire. They need something here. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. You need 4 rounds minimum on CT side to make something of a half. M80 had 5 yesterday. It was actually really good. And then they let it slip away when they got to their T side. This time their T side is not slipping through their fingers at all. They look well practiced. Wolfie, is that a hero op, or are they just going to call a timeout and talk over what they want to do? I feel like it wouldn't really make too much sense to invest in the op here without an investment around it. Unless they have some sort of weird strat up their sleeves. Yeah, that's going to get sold. Okay. Yeah, looking at the numbers, though, Mike, over the last 3 months, Marsborne are incredibly good on T side, 70.3% win percentage. So, you know, even if M80 comes out with a dominant lead, maybe they can still come back. But their CT side is about the same as M80's in the mid-40s.
Yeah, but okay. So there's.
You're gonna
Yeah,
challenge
I'm gonna throw some
skill
water
level,
on that.
right?
I like your optimism. I'm gonna say there's difference in the eye test for what a scoreline is. We know how brutal it can be to get CT rounds on Anubis. This scoreline in and of itself is not damning. But
yes,
the fact that they are experiencing the Counter-Strike equivalent of biting the curb and getting stomped on right now in the rounds is what's troubling here, right? M80 are waltzing into sites. They're killing everybody. They're not having too much trouble with this. We've all been on the receiving end of one of these. It's a feeling that you get as a player where at a certain point you start to feel a little powerless. And so you need a spark. You were hoping that Grizz's round was going to be the spark that got the minute. They need another spark to ignite where, yes, if they get to 3 or 4 rounds, it is absolutely recoverable. But it's about how you spark this fire.
It only takes one round. Like, you're right, Mike, and honestly, they were probably hoping it was the Grizz round, but I think what it's going to take is every single individual player chiming through and holding their ground effectively. It should be an individual performance that's required from one. Anyway, this round won't matter because it's over. And Marsborne get their one. That's Walco onto Slacks, but now they're just going to probably save whatever they can find. Walco got an op off the ground. That's Slacks's. So, yeah, that's a pretty nice prize.
It's a good find.
Yeah.
It's a good find. You get the elusive sniper out of play. Big gain. Wolfie will be happy about that one for sure. And it's going to give them a better chance. Headed into round number 10. To try and find one of those sparks we were talking about. 10? 10. I can count.
You can.
Second guess myself for a second. I can tell you how rough it is sometimes when you're live.
It's alright.
Terrorists win.
It's still kind of the off season. My brain's still on ice.
Yeah, technically it is. I mean,
It's becoming less and less of an off season. Let's
Yeah.
be real. The player break is dying very quickly. Don't know if it's gonna. I'll be curious to see what it looks like next year.
yeah.
Seems like, unfortunately, with the fury of the VRS and how valuable these opportunities are, becoming more and more of a luxury.
Maybe it'll be more about a break from LAN events, right? Than it is about break from playing. Just get that travel break, so to speak, right? Which might not matter as much for players who don't travel and are usually playing online. Anyway, look, I honestly hope that it doesn't disappear completely because players do need a break. Everyone does. Anyway.
Meanwhile, you got some of these crazy guys going over to China to just play a show match.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Tags on from Swisher. Another nice entry in towards this A site, and they just wilt. The defense completely collapses. Marsborne once again find that the house that they have built has walls of paper and balsa wood, and that M80's coming to huff and puff and blow every site defense down. I mean, they just giving them mid. And by the time Swisher gets towards camera, it feels like an almost guarantee that he's going to take that opener towards the site. It is just brutal.
I mean, this is kind of a great example of what you shouldn't be doing on CT side. And I'm not trying to be mean to Marsborne in saying that. It's just that it shows you that, yes, on some maps, you can hang back. You can play the sites effectively. But Anubis, there's just so many angles that you could be fighting from towards A4, towards the back site, that you can't afford to sit back. You have to at least take some aggressiveness, some aggressive fights outside of B main, down mid, A main, pretty much everywhere, but time it right and don't be too aggressive that you're throwing your life away. But all I'm saying is you need that information. It is a very valuable thing on CT side of Anubis that you cannot take for granted.
Certainly is. 9 rounds on the deck for M80. Meanwhile, even this far down, their limitations in the buy, they don't get all the util that they want. They don't have a gun beyond an MP9 on Grizz.
Oh, here come Marsborne. B main.
They're going to make a move. They're going to make a move. Swisher's watching for this. Which, fortunately for them, means that if Swisher's here, he can't be walking through camera to kill everybody.
They're not even
Wow. They're waiting to get some sort of noise, some sort of activation, presumably from M80 to go for that move. Now they're setting back up for it. Detecting presence towards mid. Now they go wrapping onto the flank.
There we go. Yeah.
So they do have the information. They do want to carry through, but it's going to be Swisher who goes back to meet them. Swisher, is he prepared for this? It out, checking it, and getting the kill as well. So Swisher, patient on the punish, had to go back in towards mid to set up some util for a teammate, but manages to recover his spacing, and now it's the worst of both worlds for Marsborne. 50 seconds, Hext is out. He's got the sight. Viz has heard him at least, but Viz will go looking to find death. Sin spotted the off, bomb's coming in towards A. If this camera player goes, it's over. Time's getting to be an issue though. The op on the angle. They brought it back to even numbers at the very least.
They're giving themselves a chance here, Mike. Like you said, 3v3, Marsborne doing good work to find Sin and Swisher. I wanted to give credit to Grizz. I mean, despite the fact that he dies, at least he's going to get information. At least he's trying to get up towards mid, and he does get that, even though he dies, so he can relay that to his teammates. And now Marsborne on the hunt, trying to get the retake. They could save, but you kind of have to go over here. 9-1, guys.
No question. They've got a kit. This has to happen, and it's not going to. It falls to Wolfie, who may, at this point, try and slip away with that AWP, but a save is just too little. too little at this point. There's one
Yeah.
final round to play. 2 rounds is not enough. Double digits on for M80. You finally had a chance, but you couldn't get back into it.
Terrorists win.
That's tough. Marsborne really needed to be on their A game here on Anubis to go up against M80, and they're not. Even in that 3v3, just couldn't find a way back in. 12th round of play, M80 up 10-1. Now, you know, I have to say, I know, Mike, you're going to be like, oh, they're getting blown out. It doesn't matter anyway. We've seen a lot of one-sided T sides here on Anubis, and the other
Sure.
team does exactly the same thing, right? So I really just don't want to count Marsborne out yet.
Okay.
You can have a really bad half and then go to the opposite side and everything starts to work for you.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. It'll get a lot better if Chop can make some magic happen here. He's fed up. Aggressive out of A. Exterminates Lake and Hexed. Now the pressure's coming back the other way, but this is where they've got the numbers, right? It was the one-man wrecking crew of Chop with a little support coming through from Walco on the other side of the map. And M80, interestingly, don't go through with that B control. Wolfie, peering right around the corner, knows that they haven't done this, so his teammates can be confident in their hold. Mid's been the vulnerability, though, and once again, Marsborne have left it glaringly open. Just Walco back by camera to watch. So there's going to be a lot of responsibility on Walco's shoulders. Grizz and Viz might be coming back to fix this. But will Viz get here in time?
Oh,
No, not to save
that's
Walco.
not good.
This is how it begins. Fall apart. Slacks. Erases all presence in towards mid. Chop is wounded. He took damage in that engagement back towards A main. He will still be able to make his impact felt, but eventually he too will falter. So it's even numbers in the retake, and Grizz trying to go fast with it, painted into a corner, managed to dodge the op shot from Slacks. It comes to a clutch from Swisher, but he's found the first, and a tap onto the second denies them even this ray of sunshine. It's a cloudy day for Marsborne, and the rain continues to pour.
magical moment. And not every moment can be precious like this. So come on, here's something you don't want to miss.
Back into the server here for what could be a very brief second half. Utter domination out from M80. Marsborne getting battered. So let's see if they can wake up. Let's see if they can give themselves at least a little bit of a run here. There's no margin for error. But even just getting going for map number 2 would be a good thing at this point.
Starts in the pistol, Mike, and maybe it ends on the pistol. Too late getting the opener on Viz.
It's just a fake. Here's the presence.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to take the site, support coming through, but Hex staying alive here on the fountain, dropping the C4 and eliminating both as well. Now means that these players are super isolated. Grizz had a skirmish here in the canals. Walco's dueling off solo, and these players are completely sectioned off from each other. They're just trying to chase down fights. And I mean, Swisher's just being so annoying, avoiding giving him the headshot, finding the kill as well. That's map point found. And I mean, this one's done. Stick of Fork in Marsborne, they are cooked.
Yeah, this one is, hey, let's, what's the next map, guys? What are we playing at Dust2? Okay. Let's pretend Anubis never happened. That's what you have to do here if you're Marsborne. Force buy up here. Yeah, it's going to take a ridiculous individual effort from someone, and the only real strong individual effort we saw was Grizz with that 4K in the only round Marsborne picked up. Even when they had a 5v3 in that first half in the last round, they still lost it, and it was their first 5v3 they'd gotten. Oh boy.
Oh boy. He's right. Full credits on to Swisher. He's having a great one. I mean, yes, obviously it's easy to look like you got good numbers when you're dominating, but you have to consider the way that he did it. Entries in towards sites, in towards A in particular, up middle, good control on B main in that first half. Just a really strong individual map, which is good to see.
Yeah, he had his off halves and maps yesterday. So definitely good to see him, at least if you're an M80 fan or you're M80 themselves. Now, Blake's going to get one, and Chop gets two back. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we said too many good things about him. Had to get headshot here. We've got a bomb plant. We might just have a round. There's still a decent chunk of utility to get back into this, in particular 3 incendiaries to clear out angles.
I think the health is an issue too for Chop and Grizz.
Incendiary to force these players back in towards cave. That means these are Team Mollies. Wow! Hex the transfer. And just like before, a glimmer of hope comes out. One ray of sunshine. And they quickly snuff out any chance for Marsborne. Domination in map 1. No doubt about that. M80 are here to play.
I mean, this is what we expect to see from M80. 13-1 win, just dominant performance from beginning to end, not really feeling challenged by the other team on the server. This time it's Marsborne. Before
the retakes, they were finding the post plants, they were even when the numbers were somehow even, absolutely dismantling whatever attempt was thrown their way over from the Marsborne side. So that is a map to forget. What's important for Marsborne here is to have that short memory, be a goldfish. Forget what happened, map number 1. Pretend that this is a best of 1 and that you're fighting for your life here, and just completely focus in on what Dust2 can do for you. Also, maybe be a little more dynamic on these sides, which they're going to do. Viz up middle, trying to rumble them early. He gets a toe tag on Swisher. And a body block just to try and give himself a little bit of vision over the top. Does he succeed? No. The smoke is resilient. The question is, will Walker be?
Yeah.
They faked the lower run to pop back up. This was, okay, nice little detail here. The idea behind that is to fake the audio cue so that if a player's holding in towards mid, they hear the rotation, which then tempts the catwalk player to go further into the peak and allows you to turn around and punish. Walko doesn't bite. He winds up getting one. He is traded elsewhere, but I like the little detail in that pistol plan. Just wanted to gush about that for a second here, John.
That was nice. Can't blame you. Walko didn't bite, though. He gets one, traded out immediately. Wolfie, a chance to punish. There's the first. Hex gone. Sin also dropped down. The thing is, M80 already have the bomb site. Haven't lost a pistol round yet, but they are man down here. Sin, staring down at that smoke. Couple of players in CT. This is the bad part for Marsborne. Yes, you have the man advantage, but positioning-wise, not too great. Player towards long, could strike, but he needs to wait for the other pieces to get into position. Grizz, they're poking and prodding, and they can't get him! Grizz with two, it's down to Slacks. This one should go Marsborne's way, and they do it in style. Viz jumping through the air, sky high with the dualies. We'll get the first.
That's a great way to wash out the pain of Anubis to strike early here. Now, there's just the next hit. They are going to have a force buy almost certainly coming their way. Don't falter here. Don't let the bad thoughts return. Keep it going, Marsborne.
It's a new map, a new day has dawned here for Marsborne. And, you know, we've seen blowouts on one map before, and then the next map, it's an entirely different story. And obviously, Marsborne is hoping for that to happen. M80 with the bomb plant will be able to force up. Couple of Galeals, a couple of Tech 9s as well, and the Deagle. They're just going to try and take long. This is what they were doing really well against Marco Registrada, and even against Blue Jays. Hex going to get one against Grizz. Viz? Yeah, only one as well. Wolfie's trying to capitalize, and he will, but the trades continue to be good here for M80.
Walko.
Beautiful flash.
Nice timing on it. Yeah, Slacks was full blind. It falls to Lake in the clutch. He's going to pick up what pieces he can to try and make this happen. He does have the whole map. He does have plenty of time. The early melee out of long means that there is a lot of clock to toy with. Walker wants to come back to adjust in towards middle. Like withdrawing. Was Walker close enough to hear those footsteps? Yeah, he was, because you can see Chop gets called over. Now, just based on the spacing, good odds at a bomb plant. Lake spots that player quite a ways away. Does he anticipate the tunnel play, though, is the big question. For the moment, not considering it. Now he spots, gets the gun out in time, and Walko cannot land the bomb and spray. So Lake doesn't find the next headshot. Means the Chop is able to recover. Team ace for Marsborne. And while it's just barely, they do hang on.
Yeah, and this is the type of round I was saying that Marsborne needed on Anubis, where everyone chimes in. It's tightly contested, but they still managed to find a way across the finish line. The problem here is it's round 2. And Marsborne lose 4 of their 5 players. M80 have 2 bomb plants, which means that they're still in a precarious position, and M80 recognizes that. So they're going to buy up immediately off of that bomb plant. 4 rifles. It looks pretty strong, honestly. 2 of them AKs. Sin with the Tech 9. But on the other side, the buy-up's weaker. So Marsborne... Well, maybe not. It's about even. But I say it's weak because those 2 AKs can be very punishing. Only slightly. Either way, Lake, Hex, and Slack's going to move their way up towards Cat. This could go very quickly in the direction of the A site. Marsborne might get overloaded. No one's on Cat.
No, not at all. Grizz the first one to try and do anything about this. They're going to be able to hold on to this long control, but with the money so tenuous after that last round came down to the clutch, Marsborne might not have the appetite for this one. This is a big risk. They're going to go for this retake. The players in CT look like they want to make the move. They're throwing utility at least to set it up, but a Molotov back their way. They got to go now if they're going to do it. They do have the kit on Chop, but only on Chop.
Yeah, okay. Wolfie's going to get dropped here by Slacks. I was going to say, I feel like a save would have been a good call to make, and they're just going to lose the bodies now.
Yeah. It's a tough call. Would have been the right one. And now we see why. Tough situation to get back in. Didn't really have the positioning for this one. Didn't really have the ability to shoot their way out. This is now pretty devastating. You would have been able to kind of mulligan it if you pull the cord at 4v5, but it's a tough call to make. Your players are raring to go. They're itching to get back in, and instead now, you're going to have to force buy around an MP9. And so all that early momentum could be imperiled here if M80 can just avoid any stumbles in round number 4.
I think that round is a result of what happened in the previous map, right? They couldn't get anything going. Everything was frustrating, and now they finally have that 2-0 lead. They really wanted to try and force the issue to try and make it 3-0, but it doesn't happen. And the better call, given the positioning, the util, everything that they had, would have been to save and just try again. But now the result is a forced buy into an MP9, 357s, and a scout instead of what would have been a much more potent amount of equipment. Anyway, might still be able to make it work. Wolfie hoping to connect on some shots through the smoke, but that doesn't happen. This time Marsborne do have the cap players ready. M80 slow down the pace into this round.
Got the numbers in the right place. This is going to be a cat take. There's still tunnels control, so split B could be very much on deck as soon as this mid smoke fades. Smoke out for the door. Baiting the response. It's just chop. Defense B. They're going to try and get active on Catwalk. They need to do so. Who's going to find the headshots? Well, Slacks goes for 1. And with the kill out towards long, now they might be coaxed back in towards 8 instead. There's still options on the table. 20 seconds. I'll start getting a little nervous here. He's going to be B. Let's see if Chop can make something magic happen. If he drops the... Nope, never mind. He's dead. That's fine. That's fine.
It's over.
Viz will save this gun again.
Yeah. Viz fading off.
Trying to build him up, man. Trying to build him up.
I appreciate it, Mike. I do. I think that possibly something could have been happening there for Chop towards that B side. He was up close and personal, up next to the tunnels. Maybe get something with the 5-7, but nothing happens at all, and M80 just run over him like he's not even there. They're not going to hunt too much, you'd imagine. I say that. They're already in T-spawn, so I don't know. They don't necessarily have a huge amount of money, but certainly I guess they can afford to try and make this a more punishing round. But they won't find Viz. He is tucked into Longhouse. Hanging on to that MP9 for dear life. Tied up 2-2. Again, you know, I did mention, you know, it was good for Marsborne to get everyone in on the action on that second round victory, but you can't overlook the fact that the way they won those first 2 rounds was not convincing. And they need a convincing round victory. I don't think that's going to happen here unless they get a crazy ego. That would be another thing. Crazy ego, USPs, round victory. It's a
good spark.
Momentum changer.
Unfortunately, with USPs, it's like trying to strike a spark into wet tinder. It's just unlikely to catch. I mean, you might as well get something crazy. Matty, you're playing a lot slower with this. Don't want to give them that spark. We got 4 players stacked up in towards B, so if this is a B tunnels take, they got something doing. Fortunately for them, right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. Fortunately for them, they might be catching players lower. Well, X now has the spot, knows where they're coming from, and says, you know what? I want nothing to do with this. I'm out.
Well, Viz is still around. Where is he? He is towards that B site. That's where M80 are heading. But as I say that, Viz goes towards T-spawn, Lake finds Wolfie, and the round is over.
Might be able to get an upgrade here. Well,
he could.
Unless. Swish is pretty prepared for this. Timing. Oh, I had a moment.
Almost.
Had a wisp of a hope, of a dream, of a thought. Those thoughts are all going to be erased. Tasty bevy of ecos there for Hexed. And M80 pulling into the lead. We got the buy up, though. And there's an op.
This is it.
So Marsborne, time to get your feet under you early. Show us what you can do with guns in hand. Show us that this isn't going to be another Anubis.
Yep. Even if you don't win the round, you just got to make noise. You got to make it interesting. Because if it's M80 He's dominating from start to finish, then you start to get those memories of Anubis back in your mind, and that's not what you want. Oh, nice shot from Wolfie. There we go. Great start for Marsborne. 5v4. Wolfie dynamic. Moving around there towards Cat. I think he's just going to hang around in that vicinity for now there. Maybe just hold the angle and hope he can get a second and give them a 5v3. Will Sin change that? Sin walking up with the A1S. Flashbang almost certainly out. No, they go dry, and Wolfie will absolutely love that. He gets a second.
This is one way to solve what ails ya. Keep everybody up, not take a bullet of damage to this point. Now they just need to get out of this health. The first one's going to falter. Let's walk out down for the count. There's still a minute to try and put together the pieces here, and there is only one player towards B. That's Chop. He's come off into mid, knew he had to do that. And his teammates have rallied to his cause. 45 seconds, they might be able to get out here, but without a smoke for door, that's going to be a tough ask. And indeed, Marsborne will keep this one healthy. 4 players making it through. Money can be made now, and that is feeling a lot more confident.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Finally, Marsborne cracking through in this series for a big round victory. Tie things up at 3. M80 are going to come right back at you, though. They've got the AKs this time. We also can't forget that M80 had some lighter guns, like Leals in the mix there in that previous round. Now they'll have the AKs, Slacks with the AWP. It's the full buy. Slacks gets the opener onto Walco, spots the second player. That's Wolfie. Wolfie's just hoping that he can get a trade here before he has to fade off in another direction.
He certainly can't. He certainly can't. Giving up the angle, trying to retake it dry. Sin ahead of his flashbang, and that is devastation. Now the middle of this map has just been punched through. Marsborne in serious trouble. Once again, it's going to be Chop on an island. And Hax has a Molotov lined up to make his life that much more difficult. They're coming his way. Smoke, trying to support the teammate, but with that kill. Don't know what Viz can hope to do here. Get it started early. Grizz dealing some damage at the very least. He's just going to try and save, but Sin runs him down and exterminates any possibility of that here, John.
Yeah, just too many bodies in the vicinity there. Grizz really had no chance at all. He made a great effort of it, finding a couple of frags, but the minute, or I should say the second, he throws that smoke, Sin is right on him. So, 4-3 in favor of M80. After a good Marsborne round victory, they fall flat in the next. Now, economy-wise, the right call is to go for eco. That is what they're going to do. Sometimes the right call, at least in terms of all the calculations you put into it and the odds, doesn't yield the victory. Maybe you need to make those risks. Take those 4 spies through. Try to surprise M80. Wolfie's gone. So is Walco.
The W's. They've been hard to come by for months.
They have.
Ouch.
That's a nice molly.
We can see there's a clear path towards the A plant right now.
Yes.
But M80 are just being cautious. Don't want to stumble into these pistols. Don't want to give them anything you don't have to. It was a hallmark of what we've seen from them, even when they are having pretty strong showings against teams, as they are diligent in these rounds. They know the pain of a lost eco all too well. No reason to make them any easier.
Oh, Grizz?
Might be a
Grizz?
gun, yeah. Snipe down of mid. They're catching on the 1, but Sin's going to see if he can't keep this rifle out of their hands. Realizing that at the greater risk, he's giving them a second rifle. He backs away. Changes the angle of approach. Swisher spotting this player top mid. Let's duel this one out. How long? Oh, this is so tough. Can't hang on to that. It's all in a chop. Might have slipped the net. But no. The net is coming back for him.
That's a nice shot.
He is indeed. Can't defuse the bomb, unfortunately, but he's going to try and chase the gun straight into the crosshair of a waiting Swisher.
Oh, well. I mean, good effort there from Marsborne to at least do some damage. Unfortunately, it's only one frag that they get away with. But it was the eco round. Here come the guns again. Wolfie will be able to afford the AWP. The 4A1Ss, they want a better performance than they had in M80's 4th round victory. Gotta channel that energy that they had third round that they were able to pick up. Blake gonna throw the smoke immediately for the double doors. Molotov in for Cat. Charging down mid, M80 throwing the change-up pitches consistently here up against Marsborne. Blake, ooh, boy, he's gonna go down to that nade even though he does a ton of damage to Viz. Chop hiding on the site, he's not spotted yet, but eventually is run down by Sin. Walco tries to get a trade on forward, he takes a ton of damage, throws the incendiary, desperately trying to hang on to this B site. A couple of smokes used there by M80, so perhaps a miscomm, but it will secure the bomb site.
All that matters is getting this planted, and there's no fast rotating towards the tunnels. Look at that health on Walco and Viz. The retakes seem to be just too tough.
Them back.
Yeah, they've got to do it. They've got to do it. This is the wise call. We saw them hesitate with this earlier, but this is the percentage play. Gotta live to fight the other day. It's been too tough to chain together these gun rounds for Marsborne. So giving yourselves 2 shots at it is the mature decision here.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's not the same situation as it was on Anubis, at least in terms of the scoreline. Things are going better for them, so you don't want to throw away these guns for free. Viz and Walco, I think if they were healthier, maybe half health or above, then it's a better argument for Marsborne to try and get back to that B site. But with low HP and how difficult it can be to retake that space here on Dust2, it just, yeah. Absolutely the correct call. M80 doubles up on Marsborne's scoreline, though, 6-3 in their favor. Ensure that the best that Marsborne can hope for here is a tie. The money continues to be fantastic here for M80.
That was looking good for a moment for Grizz, but nice shots out. Nearly a TK from Hex, but knew he needed to secure it on the Wolfie, and now both A defenders gone. Viz has come back to try and support it, but with the cross smoke up, he is under pressure, and he knows it. Molotov forcing him out of Gandalf, and he's the one who shall not pass. Top and Walco, complete disappointment in this one. They're sticking around, but it's a 2v5. There are simply too many numbers on the other side. Now the number for Marsborne is just 1. This man. Wishing there was an actual elevator in this position right now that could take him up and out of this game. But Chop is thinking about it again. Some possibility. Now it's all about the stall out for Slacks. Sorry, Swisher, as Slacks was on the rotation. But as Chop forces the issue, Swisher will find his kill.
Yeah, I mean, good fight back there by Marsborne towards the end. A bit of a hero effort. But unfortunately for Marsborne, it does not yield a round victory, and that will be no comfort for their economy. Although they will have enough here to buy up the M4s. It's going to be 4 of them. The scout for Wolfie is the drawback. But we'll see what he can do with it. 11th round of play. Fortunately for Marsborne, it feels like the sands of Anubis have blown over here to Dust2. Something here. Walco getting aggressive. Oh, that flashbang is so good. M80 predicting the aggression would come through, and Walco has to back off now.
Wolfie gone. Scout out of play. Middle now opened. And has been too often the case. A Chop under pressure on B. If this split comes through, I don't know that his teammates will even really be able to rally to support. Or they could go away, and Slacks could absolutely destroy Viz as Viz looks for a little bit of information. Walco trying to hold on. They found the kill out towards long. Actually curious to see if M80 continue to commit here. That's the bomb. That's the bomb committed, so now they definitely are. They're going to have to make their way on over. One more kill would make this a lot easier. First up. This is cheeky. This might not be expected, and actually M80 are bailing out. So they retrieve that C4. They get out of here. They're going to hold these two players here. And so it falls to Chop. 30 seconds on the clock. If he can get a kill. He's got one. Is that enough? It might be.
It might be. Yeah. I mean, look, Hex has a path towards the B site. And Walco's got that smoke to try and block off the tunnels, but Hex will be faster to get there, so the smoke throw him for the doors. He has to get this bomb planted quickly, and they could just overwhelm him immediately. They're going to do exactly that. Hex probably dead, doesn't even get the bomb planted. Oh no, wins the first. Not like this. Not like this, Marsborne. Grizz still alive, kicking away, and he survives with 19 HP to win the duel, and there is the fourth for Marsborne.
Oy, golly, that came right down to the wire. But again, it's just the worst situation for Marsborne. You win a round, there's one guy who lives. You gotta skimp and scrape to try and make this buy happen. Meanwhile, for M80, they trip over and find a $100 bill. Cash for days. So can they chain together 2 rounds to close out this half? That's a big question. Grizz, his vision never clearing Viz. Quickly sent after that, and Wolfie run down with util in hand. It's desolation here in the final round of the half as M80 look to tap on their 8. Volko and Chop. The RBG boys. Here with the FAMAS in tow. Nade pop. That catches Lake. Swisher's behind him, ready to reinforce. I think Lake might have been trying to go for a knife there on the edge of that smoke, so maybe a bit of tomfoolery punished at least John, but around not even a little bit in doubt. There is nothing that Walker can do here except pray.
You're gonna have to listen to me.
A slightly more competitive map here on Dust2, but Marsborne still really hanging on, having won that first pistol to make this a game. See if they can win 2 here, John. It would go a long way. And they're picking the right site. Nobody's on B.
But they're not going B, Mike. They're going lower.
They had the right idea.
They did.
Only they didn't. Now instead, they're going into the dualies. There's a heavy catwalk setup as well. Lake finds the first. Can these catwalk players find more? They can indeed. This is the bomb committed. If the bomb gets run down, it's big trouble on. But the top mid player at least is going to be able to hold them at bay. And now Walco can get to B. So that was always the end goal. And they will eventually find home.
I think the problem is Wolfie's so alone, but he still wins the fight against Slacks. Gives him the 3v2 advantage. They now know Wolfie's top mid, so they're probably going to try and take these fights towards the site instead. Grizz spotted out Swisher, aware of his positioning, and will blindside him. 2v2 now. Walco trying to come out of these tunnels and gets the headshot onto Swisher. Second pistol round victory on the cards for Marsborne. Sin, the last one standing, and finds one down to the 1v1. Sin doesn't have a kit, though, so he has to get this frag quickly. He's chasing down Walco, and he will not win the fight. Walco gets the 5th round for his squad.
Nicely done from Marsborne. Nicely done from Walco, to be quite frank there. Critical kills, obviously, on the final one, but the killing towards mid was the most important. So nicely done. Gives them a chance. But as we know from M80, they love a force buy. And in particular, they love getting the scout into the hands of Slacks. Sometimes also Sin. Sometimes also Swisher. They like scouts.
They do.
Slacks is going to have it this time.
On Dust2, they can be so potent, right? Just tag after tag after tag. So many long-range engagements that you can get. And then just chipping away at the health of the opponents. And before they know it, they're gone. Assuming everything goes right for you. Marsborne, 3 players into the upper tunnels here at B. They're just trying to clear out space. The bomb is still waiting all the way back towards T spawn. That smoke goes up for mid. It looks good. Some nice spam onto Viz by Lake, but it stands. Marsborne are still gaining a lot of map control here.
They're headed towards the stack, though. They're headed towards the numbers. And this is going to be a tough one. Okay, Lake coming off of the corner maybe makes this a little bit easier. But he also might just be the first one to spot to tempt them into the rest. Here comes the hit. There comes kill number 1, but it's stacked up with 2 back the other way. All on Sin. Sin overwhelmed. So well handled for Marsborne. There was danger in this site. It's danger that's dealt with to find 6.
Yeah, Force Bind not yielding M80 the results. Slacks and Swisher just going to save what they've got because they know this next round will not be any type of investment. So this 5-7 and the Scout are quite valuable. Marsborne on the other side, building off of that pistol round victory again. And this time in more convincing fashion. That was a criticism we had for them on the first half where they were winning the rounds, but it wasn't in a good way. You know, they got down to 1 player in the second round after after winning pistol. And then M80 started their strike back. This time they have a little bit of an economic footing. Things a little more confident, I would say, in their camp. And M80 have to wait 1 round before those guns come out. Nice long smoke coming in for Swisher. Fortunately for him, it's a little late. Marsborne are already out.
Yeah, they challenged it. They found the gap. Where's the scout? Okay, scout's coming around towards long, so there is actually a chance for this to get interesting. We know how much of a nuisance Slacks can be in these kind of rounds. Marsborne are certainly going to be aware of themselves. Let's focus in on Slacks, see if he can catch these kills as they come around the corner. Assuming they will eventually test him. Not seeing anything. M80 are starting to disassemble it, but there's the spot. M80 are trying to anticipate this, thinking that having shown the scout here out towards long, there might be a rotation, but Marsborne aren't doing so. They're focused in. They're locked in. There comes the first tag. Nate might find a little bit more, but Slacks has to bail on out of there. An 8 on the cross. Swisher's able to collect on that wounded player. Actually, never mind. That was one of the healthy ones. That was a straight-up headshot. And now Swisher follows it up again with the 5-7. The bomb's down. It's not planted. This is getting very dire. They can't find the kill back. Player coming off catwalk makes it happen, but Swisher finds a third off the 5-7. They're going to attempt this, certainly. There's nothing to lose if you're M80. But as things settle down, as the rifles are still out, Walco just needs the headshots, and he's got those in spades. Slacks knows where they are. Just anticipating where the next one's going to swing from. They're both low. Could be just at the pistol at this point. Bringing out shots through this box, but Walco repositions at just the right moment. Another massive round for Walco as he is just keeping Marsborne chugging here.
Yeah, taking the team on his back and carrying them forward. Trying to get to a tied scoreline here. That was some great work from the scout, getting the tags there from Slacks, and then Swisher capitalizing on, I think it was a smoke pop first, and then he just starts tapping through the smoke, gains visibility on another above it, and finds himself the 2K. After that, a third came in before he's finally felled, and you felt like M80 could win that round despite the limited buy-up. Now they'll have the full buy, but it's looking good for Marsborne. They've got a couple of pieces of util being thrown there towards long, and Swisher and Slacks on the receiving end down to below half health with only 20 seconds expired in the round.
Sin. Thought he might have spotted a pixel there, but I think the X-ray was misleading. Backs away from his mid-angle. Marsborne now really starting to find their footing here. And mid has been left vacant. You could drive a truck through this thing right now. And they just might. Seems like they want to test Catwalk. Like he's playing a little further back than he normally expects. That Molotov isn't quite as damaging, but his HE also doesn't find home. They're very hesitant to go forward. Looking for some sort of kill to light their way, and that means, John, time is starting to become a bit of an issue. 30 seconds. They've got this mid control. Here comes the pinch in towards B. To be up to Hex. To find the timing here on this peak, and his bullets find nothing. Sin in trouble now. Only manages to collect the one, and that means this is going to be a save for the remaining 3 from M80.
I mean, for a moment I was going to say, oh, Marsborne, they're just too hesitant. They don't have any map control. But as I was about to, they charge through mid. They take that aggressive stance, and it's exactly what they needed to do. Smoke mid to B, go out into mid, try to overwhelm towards that B site, and they do exactly that. Only one frag found for Sin, and that was not good enough. Marsborne tie up the scoreline and are showing signs of life here on Dust2. Feels perhaps eerily similar to yesterday's match against Getting Info, Mike. M80 were up by a score of 8-4 at the half there too. And then the second half started, and Getting Info just started to trounce them on T side until they won the map.
That's true. You got a point there, John. Specters of yesterday's games coming back to haunt them. This round, though, you got everything. You got everything you could want. You don't have the double up, but that was always a little unusual for M80. You got everything else. All the weaponry, a couple of kits, a lot of things. If M80 are going to prove to themselves they can get it done here, now's the time. Slacks wanted that early fight in towards the middle. He's not going to have it. Clearly wary of giving up those picks. So now Marsborne will start to slink in, take that control, maybe set up for a threat towards Catwalk, where Slacks is repositioned. Through the Molotov for this corner last time. This time they go for a flash, and it's just as effective. Push the slacks off. Lake can't get the crosshair on target. And now Catwalk is conceded. Swisher will have heard that footstep in towards long. I wonder if that activates. I wonder if that pulls him in towards the long house. Not seeing the clear come through from Walco.
I think that footstep is designed to keep the players on the A site there. And Swisher's now going to clear that space aggressively, realize, okay, it was a ruse. No one's here. May get a flank frag, but no, he's spotted. Viz will actually find that. Sin gets a trade through the smoke, but it's still a man advantage here for Marsborne. They're going back to A, but the problem is, Mike, 21 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's Slacks here with that AWP, but he's wary of a long player. He's going to come back. If he drops this bomb, they're in trouble. Misses a shot. Uncharacteristic here for Slacks, and now he's so low. But he's still going to be able to get Viz. Still going to be able to catch it. That bomb can be planted. It doesn't matter. But Slacks finds the punish. There's no time. There's no time. This is the round. No time, Sin just has to survive, and he'll do exactly that. M80 just barely, by the tips of their fingers, claw back that lead.
A little bit scary for Slacks in the opening moments of that duel, right? He managed to slip past and get into cover, but once he's in cover, he is so comfortable from that car position at long. Gets a couple of frags. We've seen clips from him before there, and in that one, he didn't need all of them. As you mentioned, just needed to drop the bomb, and that's exactly what he does with those two frags. Now Wolfie with a tag onto Hex gets him down to 2 HP.
Man's lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
This is one thing that Marsborne struggled with in the first half, right? Was chaining rounds together. See if it's going to haunt him here. Slacks. Dealing out some haircuts of his own. Just a nade. Find the kill. Not quite. Walco is looking a little worse for the wear here, John.
Yeah. So is Hex on the other side. We can't forget about that. So HP's about even. Hex tucks himself in towards B, and this is a B read from M80. I'm not sure what they've seen or heard. They've got 3 players hanging out here. They're giving up mid. Hex is tucked into the cubby, which I think makes sense to try and capitalize off of his low HP, but it's often that a Molotov or a nade is thrown in that direction, so he could be dead. Luckily for him, the Molotov goes deep plat.
It's all on Swisher. Close up with an MP9. Needs to get at least one here. Otherwise, Slacks is in big trouble. Fortunately, finds the timing. Spots the gun barrel. The second as well. And now they're just going one after another into his crosshair. Slacks with a right idea, but not the right shot. Wolfie quicker on the trigger. That could have ended this. Purely just based on time to get back to that C4. Instead now, 3-all. And Walco through the doors. Low HP or no, that's not going to matter. Hex is looking to find him, and will indeed be able to do so. But reminder,
10 seconds.
Hex has no health to spare. They've got to get that bomb planted, but they're going to be able to. 5 to spare. And with Chop in control on Cat, this incendiary isolates his teammate for the moment. Wolfie able to slip back away, but a headshot out from Hex. And the bomb, I don't believe, is planted for this Cat position. Hex, though, 2 HP. Is not the player you wanted to go down there. Just stick it. No, he goes for the shots. He bets on himself, and Chop overextends. Double digits on. There's no money to spare here for M80, but the rounds are breaking their way.
Oh my gosh, just such good work from Wolfie too with the AWP towards long. Wins the duel against Slacks. Has to be so quick with Slacks holding that angle. And then after that, it's trades back and forth. Hex, the last one standing. It's the dream for Marsborne in the 1v1, but Hex plays it so aggressively, doesn't even think about the fact that he's low in health, and wins the duel as a result. What confidence coming through from him. The newest addition to M80 here, shining at the right times. 10-8 in their favor. That is what didn't break their way yesterday, and now Swisher finds the opener, gets the follow-up. In fact, it's Lake with the follow-up onto Grizz, and they are just dropping like flies.
Finally, the break that M80 are looking for, so they can exhale, so they can relax. That incendiary is off the mark.
A little bit.
Molotov even. No excuse. Now the wider radius, but a little too deep on the lineup. Means that Lake can just stay there. At least they know that it's not clear. It was visually obvious, I think. Seconds to try and find some magic, but this glass cannon op is going to struggle to actually get in towards that site. And I mean, if you look at the other side of the map, Hex has seen everything.
Yeah.
40 seconds is a little long to expect to save this. But to be fair, I suppose M80 don't have a ton of reason to need to hunt.
Yeah. Thing is, they've got so much information. They are eventually going to know that Marsborne are at long, and now with Swisher clearing mid, they will absolutely be aware of that. There's only one place they can be. So M80, excuse me, maybe a little tempted to send 1 or 2 players to try and find Chop and Wolfie. They realize that getting them down for the count would be very important indeed, and Lake is going to get that headshot onto Wolfie. Chop's the last one. They know absolutely where he is now. He's gone. They don't lose a single player, and yes, it's after time.
Oh, no. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Now you're seeing map point queued up for M80. They just need one more, and what are you going to throw against them? Glocks? Gonna have to eco here, even with Chop absolutely ruined economically. Heavy presence in the underpass. Catching nades. On armor, those are particularly painful. So it's time for Lake. Stack up some one.
Really?
Only one. Dropping
Okay.
down, offsets the aim. Slacks through the smoke. We'll be able to get some more, and at this point, the C4 is a poisoned chalice. It's the honey pot. The flies of Marsborne find themselves stuck to the paper.
M80 will not allow them the space to recover it.
It is
Sin.
like watching a fly trap.
Got it. Exactly. I thought for a moment.
You
but
want
yeah.
that tasty honey. You know you do. I mean, look, it was a
Well-
low percentage round to begin with. The problem
Exactly.
is now this one's also going to have issues, especially with Chop's lack of funds.
I mean, a Tech 9 can work as long as everyone else has the AKs, which they will. Opting not to go for the op. I think they could have, perhaps. But it would have cost Wildco a good chunk of utility and decide to go for the AKs instead, which I believe is the correct decision. Anyway, Grizz getting ready with that pop flash towards long. Going to throw it a couple of times. That's more to attract attention from M80 than anything else, because they are not setting up to take long at all. In fact, they already have 2 players postured up towards those tunnels, and mid is their focus. That's the object of their affection in this round. As they aim to get control of it, although M80 is not really challenging much in that direction.
Minute on the clock. No one from Marsborne wants to give up this first mistake. Wants to give up this first edge, knowing that their qualifier life hangs by a thread. Swisher, able to collect the first. Can't transfer over for any more, but that's the early warning system. Bombs out towards long. That's coming their way, and Lake making sure that no one from Cat's going to be able to join them. Flashbang to force Slash off the angle, but he'll come right back to it. What a shot from
wicked.
Walco. I mean, this guy has
Look at
been
Chop.
lethal and unexpected. Chop finds the timing, and suddenly John, it's in doubt. Chop continuing to make sure that Marsborne will at least be able to fight for another round.
This gun's actually important here for Sin, because Slax is very low in money. So keeping it alive allows for a full buy in the next round. And yeah, it turns out that Chop Tech 9 was not a limiting factor. Upgraded to an AK once his teammate fell, and absolutely devastated Lake on the A site just because of the work Walco did on the front end, right? Walco takes care of the reinforcements that were available for Lake, so all of Lake's attention is focused towards long, and Chop capitalizes on that perfect timing on his push up Cat, and then even gets the follow-up afterwards to leave no doubt at all. Marsborne pick up a 9th. The lifeline has been extended. They need another one just like it right here. Slacks wants an early one. Ooh, good flashbang toss. That forces Slacks away from mid and will not allow him to get that opening frag that he so desperately hungered for.
How do they activate Walco here? I mean, he's been such a key piece for them, right? Delivered so many of these moments, kept this game in contention. Okay, Lake on the other side trying to deal with him. Space has been gained. There's someone watching this right now. I mean, Slacks can come back to it with the AWP, and he's going to do exactly that. Made, beamed up, and here's Slacks on the scene. Gonna pluck players away. Advantage for M80. Don't need to worry too much about this bomb plant, but they do need to play their lives, and Viz, this is the offer for the moment. Incendiary to clear them all, flushes them in towards Swisher's crosshair, and he's dealing out dinks. Players swinging up the ramp. It falls to Grizz. But he's out of position. The bomb's not planted for him. There's nothing you can do about this. It's just going to be diffused. It's over. It's done. That's the map. That's the match. That's M80 with a rematch against Getting Info in the grand final of this qualifier. One more step for the ESL Pro League.
I mean, one thing that's good for Marsborne is they gave it a much better fight on Dust2 than we saw on Anubis. Anubis was one to forget.